meeting is being recorded.
I'm trying to see my. There we go. Look, you got that X I had uh, I had woke up earlier, then I went on a little walk, gave me a little rejuvenation. I don't know what I was thinking to in the air shelter. I realized I had to walk a little further than I wanted to, so I turned around.
Okay. And y'all have classes there, right?
No class tomorrow either.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see you.
Oh, I told Kai.
Okay, perfect.
He said, I said, Miss Sheri gonna be here. He was like, yeah, I'm never ready.
Yes, I'm sure. So I wrote my itinerary with Shannon and Coach. So I get in Monday. What do you have Monday evening?
Let's see. Academy features. I don't know what this is.
Is that a class or is that basketball?
I think it's like all for all athletes. I think it's a whole bunch of it's an athlete thing. I don't know. I have to ask. I'm gonna ask him about it.
Okay. So yeah, so when Monday evening, Tuesday evening, just if we'll figure out like where you and I can have some in-person time.
Oh, why do I have tutoring at 7:30
p.m.?
Yes. I'm gonna talk to Andrew about this. I gotta see him. I gotta see him next Monday. I'm gonna talk to him. But it's for stats. It's a math class.
Okay.
They got coding and stuff. But 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
So we'll when I land, because I'll be Monday, you guys will be done with practice. So I'll text you and we'll figure out when we get together.
Yes, ma'am.
So you stay on campus, right? How close are you to campus?
I'm like right there. I say 3 minute, like a 3 minute scooter ride from the facility. And then the facility is right by campus. So you just gotta get deeper. Like campus, I'm like 8 minutes on a scooter.
Okay. And I'm staying at Luskin.
Oh, yeah, you right there.
So I'm right on campus.
Yeah, you right there.
Okay. So we'll figure out where you can just come to me at the hotel and we'll just time.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna go to practice, like I'm gonna be with you guys for the 3 days.
Oh, period. You gonna do a session there?
Nah.
Oh.
I'm just be watching.
That's crazy. That's what's up. Okay.
Hold on, it's reconnecting. There may be things that you may do say that comes out of this vulnerability, the lack of trust, and this really is an area that you could grow in. Is that a fair assessment of kind of what we talked about, what we uncovered last night?
Yes, ma'am.
And then what I had said is, hey, just spend some time, you spend a little time just kind of praying on that, processing. So in your time of just kind of prayer processing, letting it kind of resonate, was there any other insights or thoughts that you got from that? And we were talking as it relates to basketball. Like you said, there's some things with trusting your teammates, trusting the coaches, and what that really, where you saw some areas of growth there. Was there anything else that you thought about last night or this morning from that?
Like, not like really like prideful moments. I think another one was like me just being feeling like just being misunderstood. Like when I explain myself, and then like because like there was this one instance too where I was talking about how being a transfer, like what it's like being a transfer, and then also too just having when I'm a transfer, so I'm new, but also I'm old at the same time. So it's the expectation is way different from a freshman. So like you're older, you're supposed to understand. You're older on this team. You're an older person, so you're supposed to get it because you're older. But at the same time, I'm still learning as if I was a freshman. So it's like you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that too, with the way they sub us, it's always like the next woman up type of thing. So if you not playing good, if you're not doing good, all right, cool, it's the next woman. And I was telling them that how like I said this during film moment, I was telling them like in being a and when I'm playing now I'm always in the back of my head is just the next woman up. Knowing that if I mess up that there's gonna be the next woman up and I know I'm can be able to won't be able to play. You know what I'm saying? So that has some type of like pressure, like or for me to be on my toes or like for me to walk on eggshells like while I'm playing to not have the ability to play free, right? So
Mhm.
I said that and then the coaches like responded and they weren't understanding exactly what I was saying. Like they were pretty much saying it's like that's how it is in the league. So that's how it is like now. That's like Coach Shannon has said something too. I wish it was like fresh on my like right when it happened, but I don't remember exactly what she said. But I think Coach Shannon was trying to like get like because I talked to Coach Shannon about this before, so she was trying to like help understand. But it's like Coach Tony said some weird things, and it was like that's not what I was talking about. And then afterwards, my teammates like Lauren came up to me. She's a transfer as well. She was like, Janiah, I just want to say like I'm sorry I didn't say anything while we were in there, but I understand exactly where you were coming from, right?
Mhm.
And so now it's like, well, ho, why didn't you say nothing? You know what I'm saying? If you know, like, why didn't anybody have my back? Like, why didn't like there's
Mhm.
another transfer that said it too. Like, why didn't nobody like try help to like voice my opinion? Because then on top of that too, I'm feeling like y'all didn't get what I said. And then on top of that too, I don't want to keep repeating myself, not repeating myself, but like or making it seem like it's a like I'm like I'm messing up the culture. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
keep in a way an angry black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Like you
Like
being messy.
yeah, like I'm still just trying to talk about, I'm just keep trying to bring it up, I'm not, but I'm
Mhm.
not. So I didn't say anything. And so during that film session, I had to get up and leave because I was about to cry. I had to calm down because I got mad. Because like that's not even what I was saying. Like that's not even what I was saying. Like for them like just to twist it like that way and then not like for me to say that and as I'm saying it, I was being vulnerable. Like I'm about to like cry, and like my teammates were saying like they felt like my voice crack, and they totally get it. So it was just like it was just a lot. So like
Mhm.
that part of being like just misunderstood and not pretty much just not being misunderstood, but the part of them like not saying nothing didn't help either.
What could coaches have done differently that would have allowed you to feel understood?
Acknowledge what I said and like actually acknowledge it.
Mhm.
I feel like they understood like they said we understand it's hard to like to be a transfer and to like the next woman up thing but like it's not like they acknowledge the part of the fact that I'm not playing free like
Mhm.
the part of the fact like and or whatever they said was more relevant to what I said is what it it like really seemed
Mm-hmm.
like there was a
So,
wrong.
so in that exchange, you express the vulnerability of I'm a transfer, I'm learning this, and in this learning curve, there's also this, and I'm gonna just use this word. You didn't say it, but I'm gonna use this word. There's a challenge in my confidence because I'm playing tight. Because I feel like if I make a mistake, next woman up, boom, and and what you guys did respond to, though it may have some truth, okay, that's the truth, but I needed y'all to hear what I was sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair assessment of kind of what you just shared?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so in that, do you feel like that exchange, that's just one example you gave me, but those kind of exchanges are the things that are challenging for you when you're trying to grow in your trust? Because last night you said that there's things that have been said and done that makes you not really trust the way you want to. Is that an example of kind of where an exchange kind of doesn't help in your trust?
Yeah, especially like because it's like that too. Like it was like that with choice. Like she would she would acknowledge it, but it would be like I don't maybe it's me. Now I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe it's me of like feeling like you can acknowledge it, but it's like them always feeling like their feelings is more important. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know how to. No, I don't know. I wasn't saying that.
Hmm. Good catch, good catch, good catch.
Uh, I'm trying to differentiate. Like I'm trying to see if there's a difference in it,
Hmm.
or is it just like, or am I being like my feelings are more important than theirs?
Mm.
That's what I'm trying to see if that's what I'm doing.
Mm. Because you're seeing a similarity in what your ex has said in this experience with these coaches and these
Hmm.
teammates that has no interaction with each other, but you're seeing a similarity. Is that what's making you go, okay, the only common denominator here is me?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, as you're thinking about that, what do you think you've experienced that's making you go, wait a minute, maybe I'm putting my feelings above their feelings. Maybe I'm doing what I'm accusing them or feeling like they're doing. Is that what you're saying you kind of was having in that moment?
Hmm.
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 And can both things be true,
Hmm.
right? Can both things be true, meaning you felt like they were not really hearing you, and maybe you were putting your feelings ahead of what they were saying. Can both of those be true?
Yes.
And another option, could both of these things be true? They heard you and your feelings mattered. Could that have been a true option as well?
Yes, it could have been.
Hmm. So it could have been true that they heard you and it mattered, and they had something else to add to that. Or it could be that both things are true. They were putting what they wanted to be important, and you were putting what you wanted to be important. What's my point here? My point here is all of it depends on how you perceived it,
Hmm.
right? And so your perception was, I'm right, they're wrong. When the reality is, we just had two scenarios, everybody was right. Everybody was right. They heard you and they had something else to say, or they didn't hear you, and you were right in how you felt. Or they heard you, but what you wanted to say was more important to you than you hearing what they were saying. That's three different scenarios, Janiah, and all three of them can be right.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear me say that, what does that do for you and your perspective of all of that?
Opens new portals
Mm.
to like thinking, cause like that's right. Like it could be true. You don't know. Like you really don't know. You just really, it's your world and you just living it, for. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to see if like, but then that's where it goes to like, that's where trust comes, and that's where it's like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, oh,
Well, you weren't using it in that instance. You were
right.
like, I don't know if I can trust y'all.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what you
yeah,
meant.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Now, that's the heart of it. That's the heart of it. Before we go to that, I want to kind of dive, I want to fill a bow right here with this.
Mm-hmm.
So, if all those things could be true, right? Excuse me. Then in that moment, what you said was true. As a transfer, I'm like a new student. I may be not a freshman, but I'm a freshman here,
Mm-hmm.
right? That is true. It's also true that there's a learning curve that you're navigating through that is right now unique to you and maybe a couple other players who are transfers this year. You have your own unique experience. That's true. It is true that that this is a culture on this team that there's so many great players, including Janiah Barker, that next man up. That means Janiah could be the next man up, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're on a great team. And it can be true that this is the culture of WNBA basketball. On this team, other teams, the WNBA, that can be true. And it can be true that in that moment of vulnerability, your feelings got hurt because you wanted to feel like they heard you. All of those things can be true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it can be true that Janiah doesn't have to be right. Janiah just has to accept that all those things can be true. So when I say that, what I'm saying is it if everything is true, you don't have to fight to be right.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear me say that, what does that say to you?
That gives me just like it made me go back to like my relationship, not like basketball, not like that. Well, maybe the same like because it's like similar scenarios in this conversation thing, but just in feeling vulnerable, that takes away like the pride in it
Mm-hmm.
by not trying to be right
Mm-hmm.
and just like giving the perspective like everybody is valid to everything that they're saying. Something's is gray when I
Mm-hmm.
think about it. Something's gray when I think about it though.
Something is gray.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean when you say that?
When we're talking about what we go back, what's the question for?
Talking about that all these things can be right. I mean, all these things can be true, but you don't have to fight to be right because all of it's true.
It makes sense, but it's not clicking.
Okay. Because we're going to keep going deeper.
Okay, I
We're
think
going to
like
keep.
it makes sense, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
something's not clicking to where it's like changing me, make me want to think like that every time.
Yep. because you're not. This right here is only a component.
Uh-huh.
It's a component. Because if all you have to really get the awareness of for this moment is all things can be true. You don't have to fight to be right.
Uh-huh.
So if it's true that you are new, you are a transfer, it is true that there's a feeling of vulnerability and building confidence and all of that, knowing and learning people, learning to trust, knowing a new system. That's true. It can be true that you're on such a powerhouse team. Y'all number one for a reason. That guess what? You mess up, next woman up. That can be true. You can also be the next woman up when somebody in front of you mess up, right? That can be true. And it can be true that you are feeling a certain way in this environment. All those things can be true. So in that exchange, when you shared how you feel and the coaches responded with what they said, those things could be true. You didn't have to fight to be right,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, that's a piece of it. Now let's go to the trust part.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't feel heard and understood because of, and what you shared is in that response, you said, hey, in my relationship and on this team, maybe I was trying to put what I wanted out more important than what they were saying,
Mm-hmm.
right? That was an
That was.
awareness you had.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think what you had to say you felt was more important than hearing what the other people were saying?
To be heard, to make sure that I was heard,
Mm-hmm.
so that to make sure to know that I was being acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that I was being acknowledged. Maybe uh, that's what comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. And why is that so important? That you have to feel that you're being heard. Even if someone is saying, I heard you, but for you, what is that disconnect between someone acknowledging they heard you and you actually feeling like they heard you? What do you need to feel like people heard you?
This is serious.
Hmm. Yeah. This is where your breakthrough comes.
Yeah, this is serious. Like, what do I need for people to feel like they
Yeah.
heard?
What do you need? Because you have an expectation,
Yeah,
right, of others. But Janiah, if you can't tell me what you need, how are they going to meet the expectation?
no, I get you.
Yeah. But here's the thing. This is why we're doing the work so that you can tap into what you need because then you can communicate it to people.
Yeah,
People they can't read your mind or your heart.
yeah,
No matter how much people love you, they can't read your mind and they can't read your heart.
yeah.
So for you, what do you need so you feel understood?
I feel like sometimes it's the way if I tell you something and your response doesn't like align with what I said, like if you're not in coherence with, I feel like the conversation, like if I said something and then you say something that doesn't even make sense to what I said, I feel like you're not listening.
Okay.
Because like, what are you talking about? Like, where did you get that from what I said?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that confuses me.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me feel like you're not understanding what I'm saying.
Okay.
So maybe if there's coherence in the conversation, if what you're saying is coming back to me and it's like, okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an example, but I'm trying to see, because I feel like I wouldn't get upset in conversations like that if I feel like I tell you something and you don't understand where I'm coming from because you're saying something else that aligns with what I'm saying. I feel like it's not something I'm gonna remember
Mm-hmm.
because it didn't hurt my feelings, or like I felt like I was understood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is deep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So what would help you feel understood is when you are in certain conversations, when a person's response
Hmm.
is more in alignment with what you are communicating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Now, I want to add to that.
Yeah.
What if the person heard you, but their response was based on their experience or their knowledge or their feelings or what they want to express? That it isn't that they're discounting what you said, they're just responding from what they want to share. So remember earlier you said, wait a minute. Am I putting more weight? Am I discounting what they said because I'm putting so much weight on what I said? Am I doing what I'm accusing them of doing? Right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So what if their response is their truth, but it's not meant to negate what you said? They're just sharing their truth in this conversation. What
Yeah.
are your thoughts around that?
I feel like people have like because now I'm thinking about like my relationship too. Like people just grow up differently in the way they communicate, in the way they seen their parents communicate, in the way they had to communicate throughout their lives. Like if they had to lie and they had to do these certain things just to, survive in their
Environment.
right.
Mhm.
So I think about that too, because like I sometimes we when in conversation with my ex, I'm like, we just think differently. Like we just think differently. Like we don't think the same. Like I could say something and not mean anything, and you could say something, but then it offends you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I mean, you could say the same thing about something else, and I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like it just, we think differently, we see things differently,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the world.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Can
what.
I share something with you with me and my husband?
Hmm.
So we will be married 20 years in May.
Wow.
Yes, 20 years in May. As
Congratulations.
old as you are.
No, literally. No, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. That puts a lot in perspective.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
And so wait a minute, you were born in what, 2005?
Oh, three, oh, three.
2003.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We were married 2005.
Wow.
We met in 2002. So we met before you were born.
That's crazy.
That is,
That's literally crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So, so that's how long we've been together, as long as you've been on this
Hmm.
earth, right? And
Uh-huh.
for the first 15 years of our marriage, there was a break in our communication.
Hmm.
Like it was a struggle in an area of our communication. And in that area of communication was Remember that survey that you took, the flight assessment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my husband, the way he communicates is he wants to hear A and he wants to hear Z. He could care less about B through Y. Give
Mm-hmm.
me A, give me Z. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care about B through Y, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, the way I communicate, I want to give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and you're going to get this Z. That's how I communicate. So for him, he always felt like I was doing too much. Like you do too much. You want too much. You need too much. You talk too much. You communicate. It's just too much. For me, I felt like, but you just cut me off. Like you don't hear me. You don't hear me. You don't want to hear what I gotta say. And so that was this kind of conflict we had.
Mm-hmm.
When we took the flight assessment, when we learned this truth about each other is, oh, I learned about him. You just need A and Z. So give you the what it is and give you where we are. Here, look, our daughter needs to get to school. I'm going to take her. That's how he wants to hear it. For me, I want A through Z. I'm going to say, well, my daughter called me because her friend wasn't able to come and get her. Because her friend wasn't able to come and get her, that means I had to change two of my meetings. And then when I changed for my meetings, one of the meetings she wasn't able to reschedule. And so I'm going to take my mother, make sure my mother's straight. I'm going to go walk the dog. And then I'm going to go pick up our daughter. The difference? Now, I feel like you need to know all of that. Well, when we realized this about each other, I was able to go, oh, you're not disrespecting me. You're not cutting me off. You communicate with, give me the beginning and give me the end. And he was able to go, wow, I do need to be more patient with, I do need to listen because guess what? There's some things you're sharing that I do need to hear. And so now we were able to understand each other instead of feeling combative and he don't care and she's too much and so now in our communication I go, does he need to hear everything or does he just need A and Z? And he's able to go, you know what, my wife just wants me to listen, so I'm gonna just sit here and listen. We our marriage got stronger, right? So I share that to say, hey Janiah, what you said is true. People have different ways of communicating. People have different ways of receiving. People have different ways that they were raised. So my husband was never trying to be dismiss me. And I was never meaning to like give him too much. But we have to understand what you said. And that is, wow, people are raised different. People communicate different. Maybe this don't have anything to do with me. So why am I taking it personally? So for you, in that, do you feel like there's times when you may take things personally that really is not a negative against you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Think so?
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
do you need to do with that?
I just think I'm a little defensive.
Mm,
I started realizing that. Like well, after my relationship, like I said, I just think about a lot out of that relationship. Just it's like it's taught me a lot of things about myself when it comes to like boundaries and things like that. And like
mm-hmm.
just learning how to be better in certain areas because communication and stuff and consideration and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do think I do get defensive.
Mm-hmm. And by you getting defensive, does that hinder your ability to trust?
Yeah, because I think that you're like attacking me, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in that, if there is some defensiveness which hinders your trust, then we have to focus on how do we help you grow in that area where you're defensive, so that you can learn how to trust healthy. Remember last night I said you got to trust people at the level that they show you you can trust them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't trust nobody across the board, any and everything people say, you're going to take it as a negative,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so where do you think your defensiveness has caused you to misconstrue some trust with some people?
Mm. Just, I think it's just the relationship thing I'm thinking about. Not really. I don't think it's like in. I I think it's like in basketball. Like if a teammate says something to me, defensiveness. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't be feeling like they. I don't feel like they trust me. One, because they don't even pass me the damn ball. You know what I'm saying? So, or like I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot and I miss that and I'll miss it. But like they'll be like, we can take better shots. I'm like, ho, I don't say nothing to you when you just shot that air ball. I just encourage you, but tell you got the next one. Like, so that's the only thing I can like think of for
Mm-hmm. I'm making you sweat today, ain't I?
yeah, my the wheels moving up there for sure.
I'm making you sweat. That I told you today we're gonna go deep.
You said it's
Yeah.
getting into it, yeah.
Yes. So here's the only thing you can control, and that's you,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But here's the other part of that. You don't always have all the information, right?
Yeah.
People are raised differently, people communicate differently, people know things we don't know. One of the reasons you trust me is because you trust that there's something I know that you don't know that helps you. Is that a fair assessment for me to make?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's people who know more, people who have more insight, and sometimes we have to trust even when we don't understand, just because they know.
I don't like that.
I know you don't.
No, but it like for like but if I gotta trust like I trust you, but like I don't fully trust that Corey Close knows what she's saying.
Why is that?
Because sometimes she don't. And then sometimes for real, ever since before I even got here,
Mm-hmm.
this team has told me she can't coach. Like
Mm-hmm.
my teammates on my team have told me she cannot coach. And then, I see it for myself, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's it's hard to do that, like to like really believe. Like sometimes I ain't gonna lie, like she says some good stuff sometimes, but okay, period. Corey, period. But then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's like, girl, what? Huh? Like, what is you talking about? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then also too, it's like you're white. You're white. Not just Corey, but just a lot of people that like even Coach Tony, like you don't even really know what I'm saying. Like you don't really understand what I'm saying. Like I don't feel like you know what I'm really saying. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And so you just tapped into the core of all that we've been talking about, and that is this. Trust is not an all encompassing give 100%. Like there is no 100% trust that you have to give everybody to trust them. So the way you trust me is not the same way you're going to trust somebody you met yesterday. Right?
Of course.
The way that you trust Shannon doesn't have to be equal to where you trust Corey. You got teammates, you can trust them different. It's not a all encompassing. Trust is on a sliding scale. Right? Now, let's just use Corey as an example. You can trust that she brought you on this team because she believes you're going to impact. You may not trust all of her schemes in a game. Those two things can both coexist. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So here's the key though. Trust and respect for position have to learn how to live together. I may not trust that you fully understand me as a Black woman, but I got to respect that we came together as a team to win the championship. I may not trust that this teacher really wants me to do good in her class, but I got to respect that I got to show up for her class. You see how these two things have to learn how to coexist? I may not, there may be some areas in my relationship that the person that me and my husband for 15 years, there was some brokenness in our communication, but we respected that we loved each other. See how that coexisted? So in this place, as you grow in trust, right, and give people certain levels of trust, how do you get to the place, Janiah, where you go, you know what? I don't trust all of this 100%, but I want to respect the impact that I'm going to have in this team, in this relationship, in this friendship, whatever the dynamic is. Because remember, you're the only consistent thing in all of this.
That makes sense.
What do you give me one thing that you have to do to help yourself grow in the maturity in your trust and grow in the maturity of your respect? How those two things continue to grow. Not that you're there. All we're doing is starting the growth. Right? What's one thing that you think about that would help you grow in this area?
I think one, trust God, because I think, and if I'm thinking about it, for it's like I'm leaning on my own understanding when it comes to people. That's something like that's how I feel like a little bit when thinking about this. But at the same time, it's like, I just clocked myself so hard. Like I really just ate myself up. I really just ate myself up because like really that's all it is. I think I'm just so scared of being vulnerable and trusting that, because like my expectations be high, not high, but my expectations are what they are for people. But then now it's like I actually don't even have expectations, so it's like I don't even really know. Like it's like, So it's gray once again.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I feel like I just went straight to God, because it's gray. I don't really know. So then it's like I need to just not lean on what I think I know.
Mm. Mm.
Clocked myself again.
Mm. Mm.
Clocked myself again.
Mm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is I acknowledge that there's some stuff I just can't control or I don't know all. I arrest the fact of me putting my perception or my expectations on people unfairly, as you said earlier, and I replace it with, God, I trust you. And I trust that you said you would direct my steps when I trust you. God, you said, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I don't understand why coach is calling that play, but you said no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I'm still going to respect what is being said and trust that I'm still going to shine. So you still have acknowledge, arrest, replace in this place and space. And that's what you just said. I just said back what you said. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you hear me say that, what are your thoughts?
At least you don't. And then remember, you told me, it was like, Janiah, we can't be coming back and talking about old things. We have to continue to move on to the new things. So at least I use my tools and and
Yes.
like we was talking about it. We was getting there. We was really talking to get there. But yeah, that's literally really good. And it's good that I think that with nothing too is that all in all, like it just got back to like my foundation just being him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great. I think that's really good. That's how I'm proud of myself for like thinking like that. And then boom, that's where that peace just come. And then it's not even situation don't even seem as big as it really is
Yeah.
to me.
Yes. That's it.
You know.
That's it. And I'm proud that you allowed yourself to do this hard work. This is hard work, Janiah. But you see what the work gets you to, that peace, and peace is your power, and it gets you to that growth and maturity. Because here's the thing, this is the work that allows you to be the girlfriend you want to be. It allows you to be the basketball player you want to be. It allows you to be the woman you want to be. It allows you to be the spokesperson you want to be. It allows you to be all the things you want to be. This is the work that does that because it gets you out of the gray.
Hmm.
So I'm proud of you doing this work because this ain't easy.
Thank you. I
Everybody
appreciate
ain't doing this.
it. Thanks.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm blessed. I appreciate that.
This was good. So give me one thing that you are going to do
Hmm.
differently from what you just kind of came to an understanding of. What's one thing you're going to do differently?
I'm saying this, but this is not what I'm gonna do. I wanna try. I'm gonna pray about going to God sooner.
Mm,
Excuse me, to not stress myself out. But also too, I think I should. That's the first thing I said is what I had on my mind.
mm-hmm. And I only ask for one thing.
Okay.
Going to God sooner so you don't stress out is major. Going to God sooner so that you don't misconstrue is major. Going to God sooner so that, like you said earlier, is this me or is this them? Going to God sooner to go, you know what, all this is true. So I don't have to fight to be right. Going to God sooner just so you can get your peace. To me, that is the best answer. You know, going to God sooner. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes. So with going to God sooner and truly standing on his word, what is a Bible verse that you're going to stand on?
Well, while we was talking about during this conversation, the main one was just lean not on your own understanding. That's what I was hearing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. So that's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
Of course, it's Proverbs.
Proverbs. And the whole word, the 2, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your path.
I already know it's highlighted. I already know it's highlighted on my Bible app. I already know it because I read all the Proverbs.
Yes, that is the one that keeps me sane.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why I can repeat it to you that quickly. And that one keeps me sane when all else fails and I just can't, it's a mess. My mind is a mess. I'm overthinking. Everybody's messing with me, all of that. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding. Acknowledge him in all thy ways and he will direct your path.
Mm. Wow.
You got it. You
Thank
got
you.
it. Yes, you got it. Well, all right, my love.
That
Anything you,
was a good one. That was good. That was a good job, guys.
I feel like if we was in the same room, you would high five me right now.
No, for real, I was. I was gonna fist bump you on the screen. That was good job, guys. That was good job. Yeah.
Yes, the sweating was worth it, huh? The sweating was.
Oh yeah. I ain't lie. I went from the kitchen to the couch to the kitchen. I mean to the bathroom, back to the couch.
Oh, let me tell you when I knew it was tight. When you got up walking and you got to doing this with your hair, I said, "Oh, it's tight right now. It's tight."
I was like, hold on. I'm like, I need to occupy myself. My ADHD girl. I need to make sure I'm locked in real quick. Let me do 2 things.
Oh yeah. Oh, I saw it. I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah. See, it's getting tight up in here."
Yeah, the wheels was turning. It was the wheels was turning for sure.
Yes. Well, I will see you on Monday.
Yes, ma'am. That's so cool.
Yes, but between now and then, if you need anything, just shoot me a text.
Yes, ma'am. I know that. I appreciate that.
Yes, so I will. If we don't text or talk over the weekend, I'll text you once I land and get settled on Monday.
Okay, bet. Well,
All right.
you gonna be at practice on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll be on practice Tuesday.
Okay, bet. Okay.
Yeah. All right, love. See you later.
Okay, see you later. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's my purpose and my pleasure.
I know. Have a good one.